Yep, what Dee Dee said it. Just wanted to bring a quick something to you that I don't know why I didn't know about this because I'm busy focused on y'all. How I missed this. Florida man cleared of charges in stand your ground case. Okay, what the hell case is this? What he did, how he got cleared, standing your ground, who did you kill, why did you kill him? Let's get to the bottom of this 2 minute and 22 second video. And y'all know them 222s mean a whole lot. That means start paying attention. And I'm going to. This video is coming from Fox 35 News. Again, here we go. Orlando, here we go, Florida. Why is it that all the videos I've been coming up with and posting, why are we having a whole big ass problem in Florida with y'all Governor DeSantis? What's going on up in him? We gonna get to the bottom of it some way, somehow, and sometime together.
A Volusia County man at the center of a deadly stand your ground case has been cleared of all criminal charges. This is a story that made national headlines. And tonight, Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie spoke with the mother of the man who was shot and killed. So, Hannah, what did she tell you?
Well, she tells me this is not how she wanted things to turn out. She says she feels cheated by the judicial system. She says the worst part about it all is having to explain it to her 9-year-old grandson, who's now growing up without a dad. No criminal charges for Edward Druzilowski. On Friday, a judge dismissing the case against the 79-year-old. Last year, a dispute between neighbors on Alameda Drive turned deadly.
Hands off your head! Don't move.
According to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, Druzilowski shot and killed 42-year-old Brian Ford after claiming Ford was cutting tree limbs on his property and ignored warnings to leave.
My neighbor just shot my son!
Ford's mother, Linda, still lives next door to Druzilowski. Sitting just feet from his front door, she says she's disappointed in the outcome.
We wanted closure, but we didn't want this type of closure.
Linda Ford claims court proceedings were one-sided, and this ruling sets a dangerous precedent.
He got away with murder. And that's sad. It's sad. It's sad. There's nothing more actually we can do. We have to live with the results, and we have to move forward from there.
Criminal defense attorney Michael Piniella wasn't involved in this case, but says a stand your ground defense all comes down to reasonableness and whether the threat justifies deadly force.
First of all, that the decedent was armed, I think is a huge deal. The fact that he had the capability of causing great bodily harm with a chainsaw during this altercation can't be underscored enough. The other issue that came up in this case is that he had a reputation for violence.
And Ford did have an extensive criminal history here in Volusia County. Over the last 20 years, I counted almost 24 arrests. As for Druzilowski, I did reach out for comment. I did not hear back. Live in Volusia County, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Charges. This is a story that made national headlines. And tonight,
Well, it wasn't that much of a headline because I'm just getting the wolf of it. But at the end of the day, our condolences to the family, to moms. I know, it's saying something about your son had a history of violence and arrests and stuff like that, but that still doesn't give a person a reason or a cause to kill you. Not really understanding this story, because if he was cutting down bushes and trees, what were you on the other side of the fence? What did you jump the gate? Like, what happened here? It seemed like there are some parts missing. Like, what actually transpired? Why was this guy in someone else's yard cutting down trees? I can understand if you're in your yard and those trees float over in your yard and you start trimming those trees along the gate or along the fence or along your property line, but why were you in this man's yard? I don't know.
35's Hannah McKenzie spoke with the mother of the man who was shot and killed. So, Hannah, what did she tell you?
Well, she tells me this is not how she wanted things to turn out.
We glad that you understand that. Thank you, Hannah, for reporting on this. But in Volusia County, right up the street, D-Land, right there by Daytona, the problem with it is that's how none of us ever want things like this to turn out. I mean, come on, stand your ground with Trayvon Martin right up the street from where you're at. We didn't want it to turn out that way either, but look what we got dealt. We got dealt with true innocence. I'm not saying your son is innocent. I'm not saying your son not innocent. I don't know, but we do want to say rest in peace, because the outcome is never for someone to lose their lives. But it looks like we were dealing with a menace here. I mean, what did he do to this old man to incite this type of behavior? Because I do know that sometimes this stand your own ground law needs to be bent, because it's a bunch of BS. But anyway, nevertheless, nobody wants it to turn out this way, including us either. We never want it to turn out this way. I don't know what your son contributed to this, but something caused this man to be set free. That don't mean he should be free. I don't know. It's like y'all always tell half-ass stories, then want me to come here and piece this stuff together. I ain't gonna be piecing stories together like this. You come to the news and you bring it to us the right way the first time, or I'm not gonna be reporting it on it, and I mean it.
She says she feels cheated by the...
Yeah, we all felt cheated, lady. I mean, come on. I done sent you my condolence, but guess what? We felt cheated in a lot of situations, not just yours. Again, what did your son do to incite this? It seems like this is an older guy, so it can't be about color on our end. I'm only reporting on what I see and hear. And it seems like the report is saying that your son was a nuisance. Your son was a troublemaker. Your son started a lot of confusion. Again, not to say that he was supposed to lose his life, but if you came anywhere near that old man with his chainsaw, I mean, while the old man was out the door with his pistol anyway from the jump, he must have already felt the threat by you. I don't know. I didn't see it. I'm only listening. All I can tell you, we never want the outcome to be like this.
System. She says the worst part about it all is having to explain it to her 9-year-old grandson.
And that's a lot to take in, having to explain that to your son, because you know a lot of times we got tired of having to explain it to our whole community. We also got tired of having to explain it to a whole country that only seen things one way and not our way, which is the right way. But I know it's going to be hard for you to explain that to your 9-year-old son. Welcome to our club.
Growing up without a dad. No criminal charges for Edward Druzilowski. On Friday, a judge dismissing the case against the 79-year-old.
And if he dismissed the case, he dismissed the case. Why? It says the defendant, Edward, has raised a prima facie claim of self-defense immunity. Once a prima facie claim of self-defense immunity has been raised by the defendant, the burden shifts to the state to prove by clear and convincing evidence that the defendant is not entitled to immunity with criminal prosecution. Okay, so clearly the judge and others seen that this old man had the right to stand his ground with self-defense and use his weapon.
Last year, a dispute between neighbors on Alameda Drive turned deadly.
Hands off your head!
And I'm just wondering, this dispute last year on Alameda Drive between neighbors turned deadly. I mean, was there any reports prior to? Was that the first report of something going on between these neighbors that couldn't get along? Then one come out with a chainsaw, another one come out with a pistol, one end up dead, and the one got to fight for his life for immunity. I mean, what's really going on here? Was there any other calls made to say that this guy was a nuisance, that he was threatening? Because it's just kind of weird that why did you come out the first time with your gun? Has this been a history of neighborly fights?
According to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, Druzilowski shot and killed 42-year-old Brian Ford after claiming Ford was cutting tree limbs on his property.
Cutting tree limbs on your property, and guess what? That's a whole lot of damn limbs on the ground. I mean, why would you be on this man's property? See, this is what I'm telling you. Y'all come report this news and you half-ass the news and want me to piece this stuff together. I can't piece it together like that, because I really want to know, why would this man be on this guy's property cutting down trees and limbs and stuff? I can understand, like I said before, if you're in your own yard and someone's tree limbs are leaning over your fence and all of this stuff right here, then yes, you're going to cut those trees down. But what actually happened? Why were you in this man's yard, you little troublemaker? Bless your soul, rest in peace, and you're not here anymore, and your mom don't understand why she didn't get justice, and she have to tell her 9-year-old grandson that, because we told a whole lot of people in our community about little things like this. But bless his soul, but why were you in that man's yard?
Ignored warnings to leave.
And he ignored warnings to leave. So that's why this man came out shooting like he was Pistol Pete. That man told you to get the hell off his property, leave, don't come back. And then you got your mama involved. She all frantic knowing that you're a trouble problem guy. And you're not new to being trouble and problem. Mr. Brian Ford, again, I'm telling y'all, I'm resting him in peace. But that don't take away. Sometimes situations and actions and reactions can be prevented. And I'm the first one to throw myself in that boat. Y'all already know what happened to me with that young lady. Had I not turned around, no matter what my cause of thought was, had I not turned around, guess what? I wouldn't even be here with you because I'd have been still somewhere lost trying to get myself together. But this guy, y'all knew he had problems. Moms, why didn't you do something about this? 42 years old, stop condoning bad behavior like that. Everybody not going to take this bad behavior. And it just so happened in the state of Florida, there is a stand your ground law. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad this wasn't a case of a white man killing a black man. Not glad that it happened, but I'm glad that it wasn't a different type of outpour. Because honestly, I might not have did this video the same. Hey, I'm being honest with you and I'm not a racist. If you don't like it, men, join me on my live with the Queen. I know y'all will appreciate that. And we won't have to talk about this story. We'll talk about something nice and sweet.
My son! Ford's mother, Linda, still lives next door to Drozlowski. Sitting just feet from his front door, she says she's disappointed in the outcome.
So you still live next door to this guy. Did you have problems with him in the past, or did you have problems with your own son in the past with all the neighbors? See, tell the truth, old lady. We don't want to just look at you because you're an old grandmama and you trying to tell old grandpapa. We want you to tell us exactly what happened. We want you to also explain to us that your son probably was a problem and a nuisance and also a bully. And he probably went through this community bullying people along the way. And this man was so frantic. This man felt like he needed to come out like Pistol Pete's dad to go to shooting and casing up the joint because your son wasn't going to haul ass and he wasn't going to leave. Sorry to be so blunt and upfront, but the reality to it is when y'all see bad behavior like this, you need to stop it from the go. Don't start letting things get out of hand and escalate, because guess what? That one scared person going to come along and cap your ass right down on the ground.
Closure, but we didn't want this type of closure.
Well, you should have thought about this before this, mama. You should have thought about your son was going around starting up confusion and being a bully and taking advantage of people that he knew was scared or felt intimidated by him. I hate to look in your eyes like this because I could tell you're hurt, but I also could tell you in a way you might be a little bit relieved, because was your son also a problem in your house for you? You know, and I know you hurting. You know, and as a mom, we never want to see our kids go before us. But also as mom, when we recognize red flags like this, we need to do something about them. And my heart really do go out to you. Sorry that this happened. But did you see these signs before?
Ford claims court proceedings were one-sided, and this ruling...
No, court proceedings wasn't one-sided, ma'am. Your son was one-sided because he wouldn't stop. Your son was one-sided on the other side of the law, and he had a community in fear. He had a neighbor in fear. He had your own house in fear. But we're not going to talk about that again. We want him to rest in peace.
Sets a dangerous precedent.
He got away with murder.
Your son, he might have gotten away with murder, but your son gotten away with bullying for years and years and decades and more years.
And that's sad. It's sad.
It's sad that you didn't say anything to your son and you knew your son was a nuisance. You knew your son was around here mistreating, abusing, and bullying people and taking advantage. When that man told him to get his ass off his damn property at 42 years old, and you're bullying this older man in his 60s or 70s, I mean, do you know them people go to flipping out when they get older and older and older? They go to getting senile. They see green, but it's really white. They see white, but they know the damn color was really black. They go to seeing all kind of stuff. So why didn't you tell your son, you got to stop? You got to leave people alone. Everybody not going to take this harsh abuse from you.
It's sad.
It is sad.
There's nothing more actually we can do.
And there's nothing more you could do but rest your son in peace, find out where he's buried at, and continue to go to his graveyard and ask the Lord to make sure that he blessed his soul and took him to the home that he was supposed to be. I'm not going to continue to beat this story with a dead horse. Lady, our condolences go out to you. The man got off scot-free. You know, it was a stand your ground. Whatever happened, whatever transpired, my warning to people is Find another way. If you could find a way to walk off, walk off. Because one of the things that I can say Grandpa Paul could have did when he seen this man wouldn't leave his yard and he was only cutting down trees. Grandpa Paul, why didn't you pick up the phone and call 911 before it escalated that far? That's a question that should be asked, because when did you decide to go in the house, walk out the door with a gun, pick the gun up, cock it back, tell them all of this stuff right here? In between that, where was the phone call to 911? If that chainsaw wasn't threatening you, if he never approached you with that chainsaw, if he never came towards you, why didn't you call 911? You had an opportunity too. I mean, to me, it kind of led to a little bit of premeditation. I don't know, because they didn't report all of that. Because did he automatically walk out the door with the gun? Did he have issues and problems with this man in the past as to saying, you know what, I'm automatically going to go out the door like I'm Pistol Pete, because this one right here, man, he'll try me. See, they didn't give all that part of the story, but yes, because I'm the queen and I'm very nosy and I'm a chatterbox like that, those are questions that I would like to know with your half-ass attorneys and state attorneys' offices and stuff like that. But I ain't no attorney because I didn't go to school for that, but I do have common sense. This your girl Queen Dee Dee with Dee Dee Said It. I say like, share, comment, subscribe. If you don't do anything else, I said men. Instead of y'all addressing me in this comment, just join me on my live lounge time with the Queen. I'll post it, and I hate when y'all men are late.